Hello, everyone. Welcome. Happy Friday. Good to see you guys. Just jumping in right now. Let me go ahead and... Music's not too loud, but I'll drop it. I'm going to go ahead and pour some tea. Drinking a green tea this evening. All right. Very, very excited. It's called Jade Snail off of Adagio. And it's a green tea. It's very nice. Rolled leaves. And not too sensitive. Not nearly as bad as Sleeping Dragon. Both of them are really good, of course. But yeah, just going to start jumping in on this tea. And then we're going to get going here on the stream. Even if the leaves aren't too sensitive on a green tea, it's still a green tea. So you want to be careful with it. So I'm just going to let that go for a little bit, not too much. And then I'm going to jump in. I spent some off time throughout the week listening to some lectures and sermons on Gideon. And I thought it was really helpful because you could see the certain aspects of the pericope, the narrative that others start focusing in on, other pastors and preachers. And so that gives you a hint as to what you should focus on. What up, Jaziel? Good to see you. Welcome. It's going to be good. I find I just love Chinese green teas so much. So much. Jaziel, good afternoon, brother. Pray that you are well today. I am. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Blowing up the white balance. Sorry. Just wanted to show off the leaves. It's going to be good stuff, guys. Good stuff. All right, cheers. And here's what we're focused in on. If you guys remember when we were in Canvas last, we were talking about a lot of the different aspects of the Gideon narrative. And many of the preachers focus in on his multiple requests for signs, and especially the do aspect. I listened to one sermon called, What Does Do Have to Do with Gideon? And it was actually really good. And he talks about it as a direct attack on Baal. Okay. And I also learned a lot about the ephod. Okay. And some of the typological links that has. And then the reducing of the numbers and his multiple requests for signs. All of those are interesting things. These are all also interesting, but not as much. And then if we want to jump into Hamilton, he has this link between Abraham, Gideon, and David that's super helpful. Ambientes, what is up? Good to see you. What kind of tea is that? This is called Jade Snail. Jade Snail, Ambientes. Good to see you. Hope you're having a good Friday. And it's just a Chinese green tea. Not as sensitive as like a typical gunpowder green, for example. A little bit easier to handle or manage than that, but very, very nice. Yeah. Pugga man, what is up? I am back after being offline 1 year and a couple months. That's right. It's been a while. How are you? I hope you're doing well. It's good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Yeah. Good to see you. Fantastic. All right. Jaziel, cluster headaches hitting hard the past 2 days. Frustrating as I was working on a presentation. I will get it done on time. This is the way. I hear you. That's rough, man. That's rough. Well, hang in there, buddy. Appreciate it. Keep on keeping on, right? That's what you need to do in a situation like this. So, yeah, just do your best and keep pushing forward, brother. That's all you can do. Yeah, Jaziel's not wrong. It's good to see you, Pugga, man. How you been? How have you been? Awesome. Awesome. So let's go over here to Logos. And one thing I decided is that I'm going to do a video on this at some point, but study Bibles are one of the quickest, easiest ways to get some insight into the text because they don't mess around. Study Bibles are trying to hit you with the deepest insights as fast as possible, right? That's all they're focused on. So it can actually be pretty helpful to go ahead and reference the study Bibles. So we're going to go Judges 6, 11 to Judges 8:35. See if it goes. And we're going to try to hit up some study Bibles ASAP, right? Just to get a good feel. Good feel. That's all we're looking for here. Pugman, so glad to be back and to see the Twitch family. It's awesome to see you, man. Yeah, I hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing good. Fantastic. Thanks for swinging by. I hope you're well. So I have my study Bibles a little bit lower. You can see here, Reformation, ESV, Apologetics is really good. I love the NIV Bible Speaks Today. That's a recent release. Ancient Faith. So there's lots of good ones down here to reference for sure. So I'm going to go ahead. Let's see. I'm going to hit up. Let's get the ESV, Standard Good Study Bible. Just trying to get a feel for how they treat Gideon, right? What's up, Matthew? Good to see you. Happy Friday. I hope you're well. Awesome. So Gideon's call, God's call of a reluctant Gideon, is the focus of the next three accounts. First, the angel of the Lord appeared to him. Then Gideon destroyed an altar at Baal. Finally, Gideon's wavering faith is on full display. Gideon's reluctance recalls that of Moses. That was something that was actually brought up by James B. Jordan in one of his lectures. He said Gideon is a new Moses. You could see his reluctance moving into, stepping into the fullness of his role. So you have the kingly link between Abraham, Gideon, and David, but you also have the reverse link back to Moses. And one of the aspects of the narrative is the progressive growth, I would say, of Gideon's, publicity of the events. Okay, if you think about Gideon starts off this whole scenario pretty private, reaching out to the Lord kind of privately, focused on just that type of situation. But over the course of the narrative, his deeds get progressively more and more public. Okay, and that's a very useful thing to recognize as well. Oh, perfect. We steep those leaves perfectly. Nice. So there's a lot of good options here. And first I want to just review, what happened. What's the narrative structure of Gideon? And we've got that listed right here. I've got the full narrative structure here of the entire story. Okay. Then what does what happened represent? And we're just going to have to pick specific events. And then where's Christ, And that's going to probably be in the kingly links and the links to Moses and the progressions. So we've got a lot of options already. Let's keep on keeping on. The angel of the Lord. See note on 2:1, beating out wheat in the winepress. Grapes were normally trodden in a winepress, a square or circular pit carved into rock, whereas wheat was usually threshed on open threshing floors, where the wind could carry away the chaff in the winnowing process. Gideon's secret threshing inside the winepress, when he already had access to a true threshing floor, shows the desperate straits because of the Midianite oppression. Okay, and there is something to that in the background, right? So the Midianite oppression is very, very interesting. And James B. Jordan says that Midianites are actually Egyptians. No joke. So let's actually hit up the fact book real quick. And let's look up the Midianites. Oops. A Midianite has a dream about a barley loaf. Well, we do know. That's part of our narrative. Pugaman. Isn't it Pugaman? I think you had told me it's Pugaman. Now I'm remembering. It's all coming back. It's all coming back, guys.
Midianites.
Okay. Midianites. a people group of the southeast Levant, characterized in the Old Testament as descendants of Midian, Abraham's son by his second wife, Keturah. Midianites in the Bible. Genesis 25:6 records that Abram sent his sons by Keturah away from his son Isaac to the east country. The biblical area designated as Midian lay south of Canaan and encompassed the desert areas east of the Sinai Peninsula. The area was close proximity to Moab, includes parts of the Transjordan, and has trade routes that extend as far as Egypt. Moses fled to this region from Egypt, and its people were frequently problematic for Israel. So partial support of that theory from James Jordan. What's up, Deep Dive? Deep Dive Discipleship, how you doing? Did you have a good week this week? Studies going well? What are you focused on recently? It's good to see you. Conflicts with Israel. Yahweh commands Israel to treat the Midianites as adversaries and destroy them because of the Midianites' attempts to undermine worship of Yahweh in Israel. Midianites conspire with Moab to have Balaam curse Israel. Later, Cosby, the daughter of a Midianite leader, engages in sexual relations with a Simeonite man. This act, in context of Baal worship at Peor, is considered to be part of the broad spiritual contamination deliberately engineered by the Midianites. Okay, very intriguing. Let's go dictionaries here. Again, James Jordan says they're Egyptian. Keturah sent them away. Inhabiting desert borders in Transjordan from Moab down past Edom. Desert dwellers associated with Ishmaelites and Midianites. When Joseph was sold into Egypt for a partial overlap of these terms, where the Midianites defeated by Gideon are said to have been Ishmaelites because of the use of gold ear or nose rings. Interesting. Okay, so not quite as obvious or clear as James Jordan would have us to believe. Hey, what's up, Jockmer? Good to see you. Welcome. Oh, I didn't get to see your first message. It's okay. It's okay. Deep dive. Been good. Also, sermon prepping now. Yes. Finishing up a series on doctrine of the church with a look at preaching from 2 Timothy 3:16 to 4:5. Gearing up for a return to Genesis next Sunday. Awesome. That's exciting, deep dive. Very cool. Very cool. Thanks for sharing. How you been, Jockmer? I hope you're doing well. Well, I don't need to dig that much into the Midianites. If they pop up, it's going to be very brief. Let's keep going. This term, sir, is literally my lord, Adonai. This was a polite form of address. See 4:18, where Jael spoke the same words to Sisera. Gideon uses the same term to refer to God in 6:15. This is the personal name of God. I am the least. Moses and Jeremiah had similar objections when God called them. Good cross references. No, selection. Why is it put me to... There we go. That's what we want. So, just going to put these as cross references. Doesn't mean we'll use them, but I'm just grabbing these and putting them down as cross references. Jockmer, we need a Pastor Tanner sermon preparation workflow. That would be pretty cool. I think I could do something like that. No doubt. No doubt. Here's the problem. I do it in such a scattered manner every week. Week to week, I do something different. Seriously. But it would be pretty cool, Jockmer. I like the idea. Steven Otto says that would be awesome. Okay. Now you guys are piling on. I'm going to have to do it if you guys keep insisting. You can make your own workflows and then I could share them. It wouldn't be hard. All right, let me put this in a note. You guys. You guys. See, where's my video ideas? I have a long list of video ideas, guys. And one of them, Pastor Tanner sermon workflow. Okay, there we go. You guys. And a Canvas template also. Oh, I see. I don't think you can make Canvas templates. I know you can make like favorites on the icons, but you guys are funny. All right, Pastor Tamer. There we go. Awesome. Okay. You guys come up with too many good ideas, that's for sure. Too many good ideas. Oh, man. All right. What do we have here? Yeah, so we might have the reverse link back to Moses. And then we've obviously got a forward link to David and a link to Abraham in terms of the kingly progression. So it makes Gideon a very interesting figure. 6:15, God again chooses to save Israel through a weak and timid person, prefiguring the triumph of divine glory through human weakness in Christ. Perceived, 6:22. Gideon feared for his life because he had encountered God's angel face to face. Gideon defeated the Midianites. Oh, this is pretty cool. So if you zoom in here, ESV Study Bible, man, good graphics, good resource. If you zoom in here, you can see what happened. Potential location for Gideon's men right here, and then the Midianite army here. So this is where they rout them, right? And then they flee this direction through this town. And then this is where then they get cut off by the other tribes of Israel. Yeah, very interesting. Good graphic. Man, they fled far. That's wild. Gideon's small army of 300 men camped by the spring of Harod. I keep doing that. Harod. While the vast Midianite army spread out in the Jezreel Valley by the hill of Moreh. When Gideon's men encircled and surprised the Midianites during the night, the Midianites fled. Gideon's men chased them to Abel Meholah and beyond, passing through Succoth and Penuel on their way to Karkor, where they captured the leaders of the Midianite army. To this day, common expression in Joshua and Judges, the Abizarites were part of the tribe of Manasseh that settled west of the Jordan. Asherah may function as both a divine name for a particular goddess, or as in these verses, refer to a sacred wooden pole erected at places where she was worshipped. If you guys remember, the angel of the Lord had Gideon destroy the Asherah and then use it to burn up the idol. More frequently, these sacred objects are called Asherim. The second bull, there is some debate as to whether Judges 6:25 refers to one bull or two. The word translated "and" may also be translated "namely," such that the Lord is not indicating a second animal, but specifying more clearly to Gideon which bull should be used to tear down the altar and then be sacrificed. Either way, Gideon is instructed to use a bull to topple the altar of Baal, whose symbol was the bull. The need to make such an instruction explicit again shows Gideon's reluctance and slow response. So a lot of focus you can see in the commentaries on Gideon, his slowness to believe, his slowness to respond, all those aspects. And I'm not as dogmatic about that piece. I don't think the focus of the text is on Gideon's faith or lack thereof. Ironically, Gideon's sacrifice was to be offered using the very wood of the image that he was to tear down. Jerubbaal, let Baal contend. Echoing Joash's mockery of those who trusted in Baal with this name, Gideon became a living reminder of Baal's impotence. I'm going to have to do a review of Gideon's life, all of the major events, right? There's no doubt about that. No doubt about that. Spirit of the Lord clothed. Other terms of the Spirit's activity in Judges include was upon and rushed upon. See note. The way James B. Jordan puts this, he says that the Spirit wore Gideon like clothes. That Gideon is the clothes and the Spirit is the one wearing, if you will. So it's as though the Spirit of the Lord enclothed himself with Gideon. He made a Gideon suit, no doubt. What up, Stu? That's exactly it. That's exactly it. 6:35, Gideon sent messengers to 4 northern tribes adjacent to each other: Manasseh, Asher, Zebulun, Naphtali, prior to the first military encounter. Before the actual military encounter, Gideon again displays his reluctance to be a leader. See, they keep focusing on he's reluctant, all this type of stuff. For he asks for confirmatory signs from God. On the one hand, Gideon's fears are understandable. The task he is preparing to do is difficult and dangerous. On the other hand, these tunes are, do we have some, I feel like we have some, disco going or something. We're going to skip that one. Sorry, guys. If that was your jam, I apologize. It wasn't mine. What's up, Hikari? Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. How are you doing? Are you having a good day? All right. Gideon's fears are understandable. The task he is preparing to do is difficult and dangerous. On the other hand, the angel's appearance and promise already included a confirmatory miracle, and Gideon had already begun to obey and to see God's protection. In any event, God stoops to Gideon's level and grants the signs requested. This is interesting. I listened to one pastor who said that Gideon is not asking for signs for himself, but instead for all of the armies that are with him. Okay? And the way to support that is notice that he gathers his army first, and then he asks for the sign of the fleece. Listen. The Spirit of the Lord clothed Gideon, and he sounded the trumpet, and the Abiezrites were called out to follow him, and he sent messengers throughout all Manasseh, and they too were called out to follow him, and they sent messengers to Asher, Zebulun, and Naphtali, and they went up to meet them. Okay? So boom, we're gathering everyone together. And then let's pretend that Gideon asks for this sign because he's nervous. Then Gideon said to God, if you will save Israel by my hand, as you have said, behold, I am laying. One pastor said, this is not Gideon's faith wavering and asking for a sign because he's weak-kneed. This is him asking for a sign, not for the sake of himself, but for the sake of all of his army. The new observance to the situation. Interesting take, right? I hadn't thought of it that way, but it's an interesting take. Rather than Gideon again displays his reluctance to be a leader. You know. Akari, I'm doing well. Had some Hunan Red Oolong. Ah, good stuff. What tea are we drinking tonight? I'm drinking Jade Snail. This is Jade Snail. It's a green tea from Adagio. Hunan Red. Fantastic. Yeah, that's a special brew right there. This is good too, though. I really like Jade Snail. You reminded me. Let's suck down this cup so we can get another one going. So it's kind of hard to show off the leaves with the lighting here. Maybe I'll do this. Yeah, that's a little better. Ooh. Anyway, it's good. It's a Chinese green, so you don't want to push it too hard. It can be pretty sensitive, so we're just gonna give it a few seconds here. Hello, Bob. Hello from Turtle Creek, Pennsylvania. Good to see you, Bob. Welcome. Hello from Leadville, Colorado. Welcome. Hope you're doing well. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. You having a good day? Having a good week? All right. We'll wait a few seconds longer and then we'll pour. Yeah, I think we have plenty of content here. Now it's just about organizing it well. And this will be a return to a little bit more evangelical roots. I don't want to get too weird, if you will, with this sermon. Been pushing the typology pretty heavy for a while here. And if you keep challenging your congregation regularly, it can be helpful to go back to something a little more familiar so that they don't feel so out of their comfort zone, right? People are willing to grow and to learn, but it takes time. It takes time. Yukari, I was getting tired of Dragon Oil. I need some more green teas. Yes. So on Adagio, Have you ever had gunpowder green? BJ turned me on to gunpowder green, and I really like it. And then on Adagio, they have Sleeping Dragon, which is a type of gunpowder green. It's a little softer, but it's still pretty sensitive. And then this is Jade Snail, which I really like. And then if you're up for a little more umami flavor, you can try a Japanese green, like Sencha or Gyurikuro. But yeah, there's a lot of options out there. There's a lot of options for sure. I don't like Gong Fu gunpowder green. Yeah, I understand. You have to be very particular and deliberate with it. I like it, Gong Fu. I also like it Western. I think I might prefer it Western. So I hear you. I hear you. Man, if you're gonna Gong Fu, yeah, if you're gonna Gong Fu, I would probably. You probably want to. It's an interesting conundrum. I'll have to think about it. My gut says to go Japanese green is instead. What's up, Bill? New subscriber. Love your content. Much love to you, Bill. I appreciate that. Yeah. I appreciate all the love and support. Trying to do everything I can to get some stuff out there to help you guys. And thank you so much, Bill. I appreciate the support. I really do. We're very excited. We're very excited. Since the Logos 10 launch, the channel's been going way better than it has previously. I want you guys to know my channel has about doubled in size in terms of regular viewership and participation since the Logos 10 launch, and we couldn't be more pleased, right? And it's only been, 3 weeks since that, so we're pretty excited. So thank you, Bill. I appreciate the encouragement. I really do. Love your content. That's such an encouragement to me. I'm going to keep it up. I'm going to keep trying to do everything I can for you guys. I read the comments, so let me know in the comments if you guys have any questions or you have anything you desire me to focus on. Yeah. Thanks, Bill. That's very nice of you to say. Cool. Cheers, guys. Cheers, cheers. All right, jumping back into the ESV Study Bible. Let me test. Ironically, this is the same word Nasa used of God earlier when he tested Israel. Gideon's desire to test God was a direct violation of the Mosaic law, which prohibited humans from testing God. That's an interesting take. I'm going to put that in my notes here. Again, I told you there's multiple approaches. Bill, loved your Thompson chain tutorial. Well, thank you. I was so nervous about that one. No joke, Bill. Listen. I'm not going to lie. I wanted to figure the resource out, right? And so I sat down, like I said in the video, I sat down over the course of a weekend and I tried to poke around with it and just open different aspects and things like that. But I didn't refer to anything else. I know there are other resources out there that one can reference to try and get information like that. But I want my content to be directly from my heart and my perception of using the software. Oh, come on, Stu. Yeah.
Hands. Your life is in
Cool.
the hands of God.
Cool. Thank you, Stu.
Stu_the_Sparky just resubbed for 18 months.
Awesome.
So proud of my boy Tanner.
So proud of my boy Tanner. I appreciate you, Stu. Thanks for all the love and support, man. 18 months. That's wild. That's wild. Thank you. Thank you. I do appreciate it. So yeah, I sat down and I know that there are other people out there who make tutorials and different things like that. And I thought about it of, should I brush up on my skills by looking at somebody else's tutorials first before I create my own? And I decided against it. We talked about it and we thought, you know what, we want to do something that's authentic, that's from my heart, my own particular take on the resource, and for better or for worse, because I thought, what if I miss something? What if I miss a crucial aspect to the resource or something like that? I want to make sure I have my bases covered. But I think something that's so important about creating content is that it be an authentic piece of who you are, right? And so we decided to forego that. I referenced no other materials. I got no inside help. I just did research myself to put out that video. And I was pretty pleased with how it came out. And I feel like I have a good take on the resource. But then I was nervous how it would land, right? And again, you get so nervous that you put content like that out there and somebody's going to point something out. Oh, he missed this. Oh, I can't believe you stumbled over that. For example, the last 24 hours, we put out a video on making collections by, especially my big insight there was on utilizing the Faith Life groups. And I forgot a detail in there. I forgot one of the things you have to do to go in and get those collections. And you feel like you let everyone down when you have a big oversight like that. But again, we thought about it. And it's like, no, we need to do an authentic piece of content that is who we are, right? And so that's what we did with the Thompson chain, and then it went gangbusters. Like we don't have many videos that perform on the Thompson chain level. So that was so cool, and I appreciate you saying what you did, Bill. That's a great encouragement to me. Really cool. Stephen Otto, is the ESV Study Bible better than the Reformation Study Bible and the Reformation Heritage Bible? Joel Beakey. So look out on the channel, Stephen. I'm gonna do a video on study Bibles, okay? But I'll give you the insight right now, the hint right now. Yes, in my opinion, the ESV Study Bible is better than the Reformation Study Bible put out by Ligonier Press and the Reformation Heritage Bible with Joel Beakey as the editor, okay? But keep an eye out on the channel. We are going to do a Study Bibles video. Don't quite know what it'll look like yet, but I'm going to do a video on Study Bibles, no doubt. No doubt. Stu says both. Both is good, indeed. Stu, you're muted. Oh, it's a badge. I was like, who muted Stu? Hikari with the lurk. Thank you so much, Hikari. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Bill Chan, the only frustration is when linking the marginal notes, my Bible and Bible companion, the companion keeps on unlinking. Let me show you a trick, Bill. I didn't want to make the video too messy, but it happened to me too. Let me show you how to do it. So the order in which you link up resources matters. That's the key, Bill. The order in which you link up resources matters. So let's see. I can get back to all this. Let's go ahead and pull up Thompson chain. You guys saw I created this one live. Am I going to crash the system? That's the real question. No, it's good. Look at that. Look at that. So here's the deal. The order in which you link up the resources matters. So I started with that. What you're talking about, Bill, is I started with trying to link this one directly in. I tried to link the Bible companion in and into my already linked marginal notes and Bible. Disaster. Okay. So you'll notice in the video, if you, and I didn't mean to trick anyone. That wasn't the goal, but you'll notice in the video, I linked initially the marginal notes in the Bible in link set A. And then you'll notice in the video that afterwards, I went from link set B to link set A again when I put the handbook in there, right? The companion. And it's like, wait, when did they become B? They became B because I was having the same frustration as you, Bill. And so what you need to do is you need to start a new link set with the companion and then put the Bible and the marginal notes in with it. Okay? Because otherwise you're right. This resource will transform on you. Okay? This resource will transform on you and it's frustrating. Okay? So what I did is I linked up this one first to a new link set, and then I put these ones on afterwards. But yeah, you have to be careful with the link sets. And once you get them to work, they're good, okay? But it's because of how all of the resources are tied together. So if I were you, you could even do like link set C, and then let's see if I can get it. Link set C. And you'll notice when you do a new link set, here's what I'll do. I'll go back to A on this. You'll notice when you do a new link set, one of the resources snaps to the other one. Well, which resource does the snapping? That's what will transform them for you, okay? So you want the resource that snaps to be your Bible. That's the resource you want to snap. If the handbook is snapping to your Bible, the handbook will transform if it doesn't hit the right versification. So you want the Bible to be snapping to the handbook, not the reverse. That's the issue. So link the Bible after you link the handbook, okay? And so then if you go link set C here, should work. Yep. Oh, you can see, look, it just changed to Bible book outlines. Why? Because I scrolled to Acts, right? So it's one of the challenges with dealing with it, Bill. It is. You know, and so then you have to try and get it back, right? So I know what you mean. You know, I couldn't get it to work better than that. So, and if you guys have an insight, I will play with it. Thanks. Yeah, no problem. But you saw right there, it snapped, and I was having the same problem when I was recording. So, yeah, it's a challenge. It's a challenge, Bill. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry about that. Like I said, I wasn't trying to lead anybody astray, and I know you're not saying that I did, but it's just one of those things that it's tough. It's tough. Appreciate you very much. All right. Stu says, how do badges even work? Maybe this? Got it. Ah, so you turned off the mute badge, and now you got the Hype Train badge back on. Let's go. Let's go. Love to see it. All right, we had a passage guide open. Let's just go ahead and open it. Passage guide. Oh, it's already open. Good to go. Boom. Grab our notes again. And then let's also open Gideon right here. Oh, those were my video ideas. And then here's our Gideon. Perfect. All right, we're back in business. Back in business. Yeah, on the study Bible content, there's some really good study Bibles in Logos. And study Bibles should be one of your first stops in research because they condense so much information into such a small area. So it's really beneficial to consult study Bibles early in your preparation. And we'll create a couple videos on these topics in the future because I'm very passionate about utilizing study Bibles properly, right? Really good option in having good study Bibles. So let's see. Gideon defeats the Midianites. We already talked about this. The Asherah. Yes, yes. His reluctance. And then he said it was a direct violation of the Mosaic law. Interesting. Gideon himself was first aware that he was doing something unwise, if not sinful, since he asked God not to be angry with him. Gideon already knew God's will, calling him to service on behalf of God's people, so Gideon's request reveals his weak faith. Again, they focus on this. I don't know if this is necessarily the case. It's possible, don't get me wrong. Despite this lack of faith, God accommodated both of Gideon's requests. More constructive examples of responses to God's call are Isaiah. So that's chapter 6. Now, let's go ahead and check. Here's another good study Bible for you guys. The NIV Bible Speaks Today. Okay, this one is great. It's like a summary of the Bible Speaks Today commentary in study Bible form. It's pretty cool. They highlight certain pericopes and they give you the best notes from that particular author's commentary on that book of the Bible. So this is a really good one. The NIV Bible Speaks Today study Bible. And so look, we can just read these 3 little paragraphs and see what they have to say, and good discussion questions. These are great for just creating good conversation, like if you're looking for application. And another thing I found helpful preaching is to ask rhetorical questions. So these little questions that they hint at right here, really, really good for sermon prep. So let's run through real quick. The Lord's name features prominently at the start of chapter 6. It is in the eyes of the Lord that Israel again does evil, and is the Lord who gave them over to the Midianites. Probably not going to cover this, so I'll skip this pericope. Gideon starts with verse 11, really. To judge by appearances, Gideon is anything but a mighty warrior as he skulks in the winepress. However, the angel may be speaking actual truth. Gideon needs only have his natural courage coaxed out into the open. There's a split in the commentators on this. Some of the commentators like to say Gideon has it in him, but he just needs somebody to encourage him. And then other commentators say, no, Gideon is a failure. It's only through the Lord that he's able to succeed, right? So you kind of have two approaches. I think there's a little bit of truth in both, but obviously the reformed bent in me wants to say it's the Lord. Yeah. So pretty funny. Maybe this is the language of irony and faith, ironic at the time, but prophetic of what God will make of Gideon in the future. Central theme of these chapters is that God will work out his purposes in those who truly are helpless, or Israel would boast against me, saying, my own strength has saved me. It is of the essence of the story that Gideon is not, at the beginning, a mighty warrior. His courage grows so gradually. See, that's actually very helpful because I keep talking about progression. Okay, there's a progression of the publicity of the events. There's also a progression you can see here in Gideon himself. Okay, so that's pretty helpful. So I'm going to grab that and just drop it over here in my notes. Bible Speaks Today. What God will make of Gideon is then all the more remarkable. We should not miss the numbers theme, increasingly clear as the angel presses relentlessly on. The Lord is with you, singular. The older translations make plain. Go in strength, in the strength you have, you will strike down all the Midianites, all those countless hordes. So the Lord sets the scene. The message of Gideon clearly has something to do with the weakness of God's people, the apparently overwhelming strength of the enemy, and with God's method of perfecting his own strength in weakness. And then, of course, our two application questions. God is adamant that his people will recognize that strength comes from the Lord. How easy do we find it to admit our own helplessness? In what areas of our lives are we tempted to rely on our own strength? And what brings us to our senses? See, these kinds of questions, these preach really well, guys. And so having questions like this served up to you on a silver platter, it's fantastic, you know. So I really like this study Bible, guys. It's one I wasn't really sure about. It's actually been out a little bit longer than Logos 10, but not much. And I wasn't sure if I should jump on it or not. And then it became part of a base package. And so I grabbed it, and it was one of the first resources I checked out after got my base package. And woo, big fan of this NIV Bible Speaks Today study Bible. Really good. NIV has good study Bibles. The NIV Cultural Background Study Bible, the NIV Bible Speaks Today study Bible, and the NIV Biblical Theology Study Bible are all pretty good. So, good to see them. All right, let's keep going. The weakness of our own character remains within us. We may have found the courage to repudiate the world and the daring to call others of God's people to identify with us, but we have not yet found the confidence to be quite sure that we are on the right track. We ought not to blame Gideon for putting out his fleece. Setting up tests for God is not normally a good way of seeking guidance, but we need to balance the impiety of Israel's demanding signs from God in Psalm 95 against the equal impiety of King Ahaz's not doing so in Isaiah 7:10. The proper question, as ever, is to ask what God is doing with his people. As a rule, he requires them to live by faith, not by sight. The important thing about guidance is not the method, but the fact. They are expected to trust that as they make decisions on the basis of what he has already said, so he is guiding them. They are not expected to demand he show them how he is guiding them by telling them what decisions to make, but we may take Gideon's as a special case. Here the Lord is coaxing along a reluctant leader who really is cautious in his faith and who needs to have his confidence built up step by step by a patient, loving, but determined God. So again, it's the take that Gideon is being weak in faith, and God is coaxing him, right? It's certainly the majority opinion. It's not the only opinion. So we learn to stand up against the enemy within us, the inadequacy of our faith, and to use every means that we can to encourage ourselves in the greatness and goodwill of our Lord. The scene is set, and the Savior Gideon prepared for the confrontation between Israel and Midian. Hey, I have a question for you guys. I was actually thinking about it today. I want to record a video this weekend, but it might be kind of long. My question is, most of my videos are short, less than 20 minutes. If I posted like a 40-minute video, 50-minute video on Logos, would you guys watch the whole thing? Does a longer video deter you guys? Or would you be Would you be just as excited, maybe even more excited, to watch a 40-minute video, even a 45-minute video instead of a 15-minute video? Curious your guys' thoughts. I have an idea for some content to do, but I think it would be a relatively long video. Cal Magic says to do a part 1 and a part 2. I hear that, and that's a good idea if the content itself is easily broken up. By the way, good to see you, Cal Magic. Welcome. Happy Friday. Now, not all content easily breaks itself up into a part 1, part 2, but that's a good idea. That's a good idea, Cal Magic. Have we had decisions to make in our own lives where we have needed to put on our own fleece? How has God been faithful and patient with us as we try to follow him? Okay. Cal Magic says, well, create a cliffhanger. There you go. That's the key, is to create a cliffhanger. All right, here's the too many men motif. Bill, if Mo can do 1 hour, you can too. All right, Bill says to go for it. I like that. I appreciate it. All right, so let's see. Multiple requests for signs. I can talk about the do. God reducing the numbers. So let's read the too many men section. I wonder if we dig into the dream that they had and then the weird way in which they defeat them. Remember they had the jar and the torches and they threw the jar down and screamed? One at a time here. Too many men. The keynote of the story comes with God's words to Gideon. You have too many men. Is 32,000 men really too many? Surely this is no more than a respectable army, considering the army they are up against. But the Lord tells Gideon that it is too many, and anyone who trembles with fear can go home. At once the army is reduced to 10,000. Surely this must be all the defense cuts that can be afforded. But no, says the Lord, there are still too many men, and a further reduction is required. As they come to the water, the Lord tells Gideon to watch the way they drink. Whereupon 9,700 men got down on their knees to drink, while 300 drank from cupped hands, lapping like dogs. People debate why the Lord should choose those who lapped rather than those who knelt. But once we find ourselves asking why lapping was the sign of a better soldier, we are on the wrong track. The object was to reduce Gideon's army to a force not of a particular kind, but of a particular number. I disagree with this, okay? It was of a different or a particular kind here. The first reduction, you want to get rid of the fearful ones. Okay? So, why did he... I think there might be something further here. I don't think it's necessarily being on the wrong track. Now, it's a bit more speculative, I'll give you that, but I don't think it's necessarily on the wrong track to ask ourselves why. The object was to reduce Gideon's army to a force not of a particular kind, but of a particular number. The 300 men chosen are meant not to be an elite group, but a group so inadequate that when the battle is won, God declares it cannot be a case of Israel saying, my own strength has saved me. For the point is that the Lord who saves them. Until the numbers are reduced to the level at which it is clearly the Lord and not Israel who wins the battle, they are too many. Gideon follows the instructions and the result is a famous victory. Gideon himself has also grown in stature, and by the end of the narrative, he is giving the orders. He has emerged from weakness to become mighty in battle, putting foreign armies to flight. Yeah, it's a good example. Gideon's growth is an important part of the narrative. I'll give you one pastor's interpretation. I was listening to one pastor preach on this section, and he said this. He said both have to do with fear. He said the first reduction is with those who are self-consciously fearful. They know they're fearful. They can sense their fear, and they're self-consciously fearful. He says the second reduction is for those who are subconsciously fearful. They think they're brave, but they're actually not. And that pastor said that the way they drink the water is indicative of that. Now, first of all, I want you to know in the Hebrew, it's not 100% clear how they're drinking the water, okay? But this pastor said that those who lap it like a dog, they're ones that are exposing themselves, even while they're down by the water drinking. They're exposing themselves to an attack, and yet that's just naturally how they are. They naturally go and drink the water, and they're naturally fearless. Whereas the others are drinking in a manner that is still somewhat protecting themselves, right? So that's how he put it. Again, the Hebrew isn't 100% clear in terms of this get down on their knees and drink from cupped hands, etc. But that pastor interpreted it. The first reduction is those who are self-consciously fearful. The second reduction is those who are subconsciously fearful. So that at the end of the day, we have 300 completely fearless men. So interesting take. Interesting take, I thought. Cal Magic says, when I filmed TV commercials, we started with 30-second shots. After time, we cut them to 15 seconds, and a couple of years we were down to 9 seconds due to shortening attention spans of the public. Yes. It's very interesting to see. I notice it in myself, Cal Magic. Constantly, with all the distractions we have, it's really hard to focus on any one thing. I find my attention is constantly jumping from thing to thing, and I have to be very, very conscious to stop it from doing that. Okay, let's go over to our Canvas document now. And here in our Canvas document, you can see it's a mess, but it can be easily cleaned up. Okay, we've got the typological links to Moses, Abraham, David. We've got the progressive publicity of the events. We've also got the progression of the plunder. And then we've got the progressive growth of Gideon himself. So those are all worth talking about for sure. And that'll take a significant amount of time, all of these ideas. If we also talk about the multiple requests for signs, that goes with the do, okay? Then we can also... I'm always nervous about anything that has words in it. Cal Magic, rid yourself of distractions. You'll find 2 to 3 free hours. It's no joke. You're not lying, Cal Magic. It's amazing how many hours we waste bouncing around from thing to thing. So, I think the ephod is essential to cover. I think the multiple signs, the do, is essential to cover. I think God reducing the numbers is essential to cover. I'm just not going to have time to go into the method of fighting. I'm just not going to have time. We've got the kingly link, got the link to Moses, and then we've got all the progression. So we've got more than enough content. So I need to stop reading at this point. We've got good information from the 2 study Bibles we consulted and all the rest of the study we've done all week. And what we need to do now, the goal now, is to refine. That's what we really need to do. We need to refine and get a little bit better sense of, just exactly what we want to focus on. You've got to be very deliberate with these things. You can't do everything all at once, right? So if we're going to refine, if we're going to be deliberate, we need to figure out the way in which to preach this, okay? I wanted to do Judges 8, 22 to 28, because that's the ephod, and that's something I want to cover a little bit later. And, that's all going to be tied to the progressive development of Gideon himself.
I don't know why you're clapping. I'm talking about you.
Hey, thank you. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate the follow. There we go. Get some Paul washers. Thank you. Appreciate the follow, Joe. Welcome. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a good day. Song's a bit weird. Skip. All right. I do want to talk about this. This is my typical framework. Joe says, a Paul Washer quote for follow is hilarious. They're all Easter eggs like that. I'm glad you enjoy it, Joe. So let's see. That's for follow. The sub sound is different. The bits sound is different. The donation sound is different. They're all a little bit funny. So yeah. Don't know why you're clapping. I'm talking about you. Gotta love it. Good to see you, Joe. Good to see you. All right. Let's keep going here. Error horn but. Oh, Cal
American
Magic.
Joe just resubbed for 1 month.
Let's go. Gifted sub. So convicting. Yes, exactly. Gifted sub from Cal Magic to Joe. Thank you so much. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Cal Magic. Appreciate the gifted sub. Joe, I hope you enjoy your sub to the channel. Yeah, my guy. No doubt. No doubt. Rad Dad. Joe, you made it to the right place, brother. You're going to enjoy the stream if you haven't been here before. Rad Dad, come on. You're making me blush. You're making me blush, Rad Dad. It's good to see you. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. All right. So we got this breakdown. I don't think I'm going to have not going to have a main proposition. Okay. Now I need to find out the best way. This is where sermon writing gets creative. Okay, guys, we need to talk about, let's put all our main points down and think about how we want to talk about it. Okay. Let's do it down here. So first we have typological links. And we know the content of that. We know what they're going to be whenever we do them. But we don't know yet. We also want to talk about progressions. And I feel like progressions need to be talked about after typological links. Because one of the main progressions I want to talk about is the progression of how to deal with the plunder of the strongman's house. Okay, Abraham, Gideon, and David all deal with plunder differently. Abraham avoids it. Gideon takes it and turns it into an idol. David takes it and he contributes it to God's temple. Okay, so that progression is very important, but it's linked to the typology. So I want to do progressions after typological links, wherever we do progressions at. What's up, Larry? Larry, Pastor Tanner, could you make a video on how to use/make notebooks on Logos sometimes? I always enjoy your videos. Check it. All right, we go over here. We go to our notes document, video ideas. We're going to go right down here to boom, boom, boom. And we're going to put notebooks for our boy, Larry Martinez. Boom. There we go. I will do it, Larry. I will do it just for you. So it's right there. This is my notes document, guys, for, look, Logos video ideas. And look, oh, Tops and Chain reference crossed out, right? I've already done a video on Bible engagement project. Maybe that'll come out soon, right? So yeah, this is where I keep track of all my video ideas. And Larry, I added yours. Thank you so much. It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. And don't worry, just because it's 36th on the list doesn't mean I'll wait that long. When I have time to make a video, I get in here and I start looking at them all. I ask what's jumping out at me, what grabs my attention, what I'm interested in, and then I grab something. So that one might come out very soon, Larry. You never know. Thanks for the recommendation. Yo, it's Twitch Theologian. What is up? Hey, Tanner, how have you been? I've been great, man. How are you? Man, it's been a while. How are you? Hope you're doing well, brother. Hey, I want to apologize, man. I know we had talked about doing like collaborations and stuff forever ago, and it never went. And I feel like, you know, I got so busy. I felt like I kind of fell off the face of the earth. So I apologize for that, Twitch Theologian. I you know, I appreciate you, and I would not be opposed to those sorts of things, but man, it's about bandwidth. I got so many irons in the fire. It's hard to keep everything up. But how have you been, man? It's good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, I hope you're doing well. All right. Joe says, Rad Dad is like my twin brother on Twitch. Let's go. Good to see it. Cal Magic says, my pleasure. Welcome to our humble, mostly group. That's right. That's right, Joe. Welcome. Glad to be here with some brethren teaching our Lord's words. Awesome. Well, that's what we do here. That's all we do here, okay? Okay, so we got the typological links. We got our progressions, okay? So that's all looking good. Now we've got the requests for signs. The ephod is part of the progressions and the reduction of numbers. So we've got requests for signs. And then finally, reduction of numbers. So I feel like if I do typological links, I set myself up to do progressions later in the sermon. So if I do typological links number 1, I feel like I can do progressions number 4. Okay. And kind of finish the sermon off with that. And I think that'll play really well because we talk about the ephod, we talk about really essential ideas. So that just means request for signs, then reduction for numbers. What order do we do them in? Well, I think it just is natural. The narrative does them 2, 3, just like this. So I think we can do that. And I wonder if we hint at progressions before so people can look for them. No, I don't think so. I think we can use point number 4 as like a summary statement to talk about all of these progressions. Okay. Oh, you too. Okay. Okay. Well, now I don't feel as bad. Twitch Theologian. Thank you. Look at Twitch Theologian. He's making me feel okay about the fact that we haven't been hanging out as much. He's making me feel like it wasn't I who ghosted him, but we ghosted each other. Okay. Oh man. Twitch Theologian, I took a year off Twitch for personal reasons and this entire month off of social media. I'll be back to streaming in November, working on a course on faith and justification. Awesome, man. Very cool. Spending time studying the Jewish concept of faith, I was asked to write an article about my research, but I do want to do something with you sometime. No rush. I'm a multiple fire iron guy too. Love to see it, man. Well, it's good to see you. And yeah, I didn't take time off for a year, but man, since my daughter was born, and even a little bit before that, we've been maintenance mode for a long time. We've been maintenance mode for a long time, just kind of bare minimum content. And so we're getting back into the swing of things now. But yeah, it's been a little rough. So we're getting there though. The Lord provides, right? It's good to see you, man. What's up, Vector? It's hard to be humble when you're perfect in every way. Vector, just showing I didn't expect that. I didn't see that one coming, y'all. Yeah, there you go, Vector. Vector letting us know the challenges of perfection. Deep dive. Going to be teaching our guys in a preaching program this weekend using commentary, study Bibles, etc. Well, in a preaching prep. Actually, we'll be leaning on your Logos tutorials, PT, for some of this. Yes! Awesome. I'm so happy to hear that, Deep Dive. Cool. And let me know if there's something that you need, Deep Dive, for like your group. Like, here's the deal. You saw my list of video ideas, 30 long. But if there's something that you need for your group sooner rather than later, let me know and I can move it up on the priority list, right? Because it's kind of arbitrary which videos I pick to do when. You know, it's just whatever I feel inspired by at the time or whatever I feel like I have the bandwidth to tackle. But if you're like, hey, a video on XYZ topic would be super helpful, then I'll try to crank that one out sooner rather than later. You see what I mean? So just let me know, Deep Dive. I appreciate that. Man, that's such an encouragement to me. Praise God. So cool. So cool. Stu, Vector is the exception to that humility thing we talked about because reasons. Exactly. Twitch Theologian, I took the entire month of October off from church. I had to use my vacation time. My presbytery sent me to a retreat in Colorado to relax because I have a hard time taking a Sabbath for myself. Hey, man, that's awesome. I hope it was good. Really, really cool. Where'd you end up going? And you don't have to tell me if it's too detailed. I heard there's a place in eastern Colorado that is meant to be just like a pastor's retreat haven. A lot of people have been telling me about that. So it'd be interesting if you went to the same spot. That's good though, man. That's good. Very cool. All right, guys. So I think I've got the order. I want to talk typological links. Then we'll talk about requests for signs. We'll talk about reduction of numbers. And then we'll talk about progressions. Okay. So that's going to be the order we cover this stuff in. So let's bring this back up top right here. Let's bring this back into the messiness that is our main page. You see how clean everything is, y'all? Oh, man. Marble Retreat in Marble, Colorado. Okay. I don't know if that's the one people were telling me about. It doesn't ring any bells, but I'm also not sure that they told me specifically what it was called. So that's awesome, man. Very cool. All right. So we'll put typological links here. And that means these links to Abraham, Gideon, David, Moses, they can be in smaller font. So I'll grab one of these. And we'll put this down here. And then that means we can... Oh no, T everywhere. T everywhere, y'all. Guys, do not put your teacup in front of your keyboard. But you know what that means? It means I need more tea. Let's get the water going. It's not as bad as it could have been. Let's just say that. Disaster. That's right. That's right. We got the Presbyterians up in the house. Love to see it. Uh-oh. What's up, Everett? What's up? How you doing, Everett? It's good to see you. It's good to see you, Everett. Hope you've been well, man. Doug says, trying to learn Canvas and sentence diagrammer for sermons. I know you use Canvas. Do you use sentence diagrammer? Are there tips and tricks to make it easier? Okay, Doug, I got to put that down. So I was gonna do a video on sentence diagramming. Where is it? You're moving this up on my list, Doug. Oh, look how bad my keyboard is now that it has T in it. I did not type Sturtenser. I'll tell you guys that much. I typed sentence. Oh dear. Oh dear. Let's go with unplug and plug back in. Let's try that one. You said the list wasn't in order. It isn't. I need to find it though. Throne of Life. Time for new keyboard. Guys, maybe it'll work. Maybe it'll work. Maybe the unplug plug back in will work. Let's try it. Sentence. Oof. Oof, that's not okay. Okay, y'all. Well. Let's just say, oh, yeah, you don't want water leaking out of your keyboard like that. That's definitely not the way you want to go. Oh, man. Oh, yeah, the old unplug it so it dries out tactic. Well, look, I had to try something. You guys are making me laugh too much today. Rip keyboard. Yeah, we'll see. It's we got most of the tea out of it. I think it's safe to say it's a bad move to continue utilizing that keyboard. Now it is a keyboard. I think it's safe to say that's a bad move to continue utilizing that the rest of stream. Well, let's pour some tea and brainstorm. Now, I do have an appointment in... So, Doug, I want you to know I'm not forgetting your request. I will do a video on sentence diagramming and on all that stuff. So I will do a video on that, Doug. The question is when, right? We only have so much bandwidth and there's like infinite videos we can make. So I'm trying my best to prioritize properly, if that makes sense. Now, I need to figure out what the plan is the rest of the stream. I was only going to stream like 15 more minutes anyway, because I do have an appointment with somebody from my church here in 25 minutes. So I need to go head over to that anyway. So I might just finish with a little discussion oriented stuff, and engage with you guys here. But yeah, the keyboard's in bad shape. The keyboard is in bad shape. Let's see. Okay. Yes, Doug, I will add that. We will, yes, no problem. We will do sentence diagramming. We'll do sentence diagramming. Rad Dad, I have the stream on mute. What happened? Why is water dripping from your keyboard? I spilled tea in my keyboard. Rad Dad. Stu says to put it in the microwave to dry it out. That sounds like a horrible idea. Time for a new one. Yeah, not wrong. Twitch Theologian, it was predestined for us to be here. Exactly. The Presbyterians in the house. Twitch Theologian, I'm going to go soon, but in the next few weeks, if you have half hour or so, I'd like to chat with you privately about some tech stuff and cross-promotion ideas. Yeah, definitely, man. Reach out to me on Discord. Reach out to me on Discord, Twitch Theologian. I'd love to catch up and see how you're doing. Oh, yeah. I did ask earlier, Vector. I did ask earlier about longer videos versus short. And people told me to do long. Okay, so here's the question, guys. This is the question. We'd love your guys' feedback on this because Vector and I are talking about one of our upcoming video ideas. I want to do a video on study Bibles, okay? I want to do a video on study Bibles in Logos Bible software. And almost like a tier list. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Come on, wouldn't you guys click on study Bible tier list? That sounds like an awesome video idea to me. But here was my question. I have like 35 study Bibles in Logos. My question is, would you want to see a video of 35 study Bibles tier list? It'd be like a 40 to 50 minute video, right? It's going to be long. Or would you like me to not drone on that long and just narrow it down to like my top 10 study Bibles or something like that? What are your guys' thoughts? Dustin, what is Dustin doing here, guys? Man, it must be a good day. Look at this. All the OGs showing up. We got Twitch Theologian. We got Dustin. What is going on? Man, it's good to see you, Dustin. How you been? Dustin, that's right up my alley. I definitely click. All right. Dustin likes it. Now, the length, Dustin. What's up, Jedi? Good to see you. Oh, man, it's good to see everybody. Dustin wants the full tier list. No, he says, full tier list with commentary and your thoughts. I'd watch the whole thing. There we go. I mean, we already have a commitment to watch the full 45-minute tier list, okay? So Jaziel says, I would also be good with 45 minutes. Wink. Vector, look, the people have spoken. The people have spoken. We got to do the full thing. Study Bible tier list. It's going to be 35 study Bibles compared and contrasted. And we're going to do like a 45 to 50 minute video on study Bible tier list. All right, guys, I'm going to plug the keyboard back in. It still has tea in it. There's no doubt. Look, you can still see the water leaking out. Okay. So it still has tea in it, but it's bound to work now, right? Jedi says, full tier sounds good. Has good worth, methinks. All right. Well, I'm glad to hear it. Cal Magic, I'll watch it as long as I have my popcorn. Okay, I plugged the keyboard back in. Now, here's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to type... Okay, I'm going to try to type a message to chat. The backspace works. Okay, so I'm going to try to type a message on Twitch. I'm not even going to look. I'm just going to type, looking down at the keyboard. And then when I finish typing, I'm going to hit enter. And we're going to see what comes up. Okay? We're going to see what comes up. So, let's put... I love Twitch chat. Oh, come on. Didn't even need to buy a new keyboard. Come on. Look at that. Yes. Just needed a little dumping out. You just had to dump out the tea. That's it. Look at that. Guys, I can heartily recommend Philco brand keyboards. Okay? You can pour tea in them. Philco. Okay, Philco. Cherry MX Browns, by the way. Yes. You can pour tea in them. And then you just have to pour it out. And they work fine. Vector's calling you guys out on it. Vector doesn't believe people will watch a 45-minute video. That's why we had this discussion. What if it posted, tea is great, tea is your new master, all hail tea? That tea infected the keyboard and took it over. It's now a keyboard controlled by T. That would be amazing. That would be so good. That's awesome. That's awesome. Demon keyboard, right? Jedi says, as long as no sugar was in the tea, chances are good for the keyboard to survive. Dustin, somebody brought up to me the other day that you were trying to make the case that sweet tea is tea. In fact, I think it was Jaziel. Okay. Now, we got into a big debate about this. No, it wasn't sweet tea. It was iced tea. That's what it was. Somebody brought up to me, iced tea was tea. And I defended you, Dustin. I said iced tea is tea indeed. But then they said, you know what? It wasn't Jaziel. It wasn't. But then they said this. They said, what if you add half a cup of sugar? And then I had some concerns. Okay, so here's the deal, Dustin. I can defend you brewing tea and icing it. I got no problem with that. That's real tea. But how much sugar are you adding, my man? Like just a little bit? Or you know what I mean? Like I want to defend your honor, but I got to be honest too. You see what I'm saying? It's important. Only 2 cups, Cap. It becomes sentient. Oh no. When the puns start coming out, you got to get ready to end the stream. That's all there is to it. Oh my goodness. Where is the science in this? This portion of the stream is not advice, indeed. Jaziel, I'm Reformed Presby. You know I'm okay with all-day lectures. Look, Vector, you can see everyone is defending a 45 minutes video. They're all defending it. Sugar doesn't negate the tea-ness of the tea. Well, that's some of the debate. Twitch Theologian says sweet tea is a form of Kool-Aid. Okay, so, you know, this is part of the debate. Jedi says sweet tea is good. Please don't broaden the pineapple pizza question on tea too. Yeah, you're right, Jedi. It's pretty much the same question, right? When does it stop being good? When does it stop being the thing that it's designed for? Deucin says, I told chat to go to Tanner if you want real tea, but if you want the sugary Texas good stuff, I'm your man. Only 2 cups. Ah, so good. So good. Dustin, you should reach out to me in Discord sometime, and we should just chat and catch up. We should just catch up, man. It's been a while. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you swinging by the stream, man. I'll tell you, I've been maintenance mode for... My daughter's 8 months now. And I've been maintenance mode since she was born, basically, even before that, right? So it's been tough. It's been tough. But yeah, we got to reach out. I hope you're doing good, man. Yeah, I hope you're doing good. Joe, brown sugar sweet tea is a must. I've never tried it with brown sugar. That's interesting. That's interesting. I like it. I like the ideas here. Vector says, if our watch time is bad, I'm going to be knocking on some doors for some answers. Well, here's the deal, guys. We're going to do it. The people have spoken. We're going to do a study Bible tier list. All 35 study Bibles, 40, 50-minute video. Okay? We're going to do it. I'm looking forward to it. Jaziel, no lie, I have a neighbor who adds 2 cups of sugar to a gallon of iced tea. Dustin, Jaziel, wait, we're neighbors? Oh, that's awesome. All right, guys, I'm going to go. I feel like I'm dragging it out. I got to go. I got 15 minutes to get over to the church and meet with a member from our church, okay? So I got to go. This has been fun. My keyboard's not broken. We made some good progress on the sermon. I know the direction I'm going. And I appreciate you all very much. Have a great weekend. Have a great weekend, guys. I really enjoyed hanging out. It was so good to see so many cool people today. And let me know. We took down a bunch of video ideas. We're going to be trying to crank out videos like crazy. So appreciate you all very much. Appreciate you all very much. Awesome. Yeah, you guys have a good day. Have a great weekend. Maybe we'll see you the Lord's Day. Oh, we are... Check in the Pastor Tanner YouTube channel if you're interested in seeing the sermons, because we're no longer going to be streaming sermons to the Pastor Tanner YouTube channel. It'll be the last Sunday. Okay, so our church channel is up on there. All right, so check that out if you're interested. Always good to hang out. You as well, Deep Dive Discipleship. Appreciate you very much. That is hummingbird water, you guys. Have a great weekend, okay? We'll see you later this weekend. If not, we'll see you next week. Take care. God bless. Bye.